You think you know your favorite K-pop idols? Think again. Some of them have secrets darker than you can imagine. Secrets that landed them in jail. And first up, we have Kris Wu, former member of EXO. Picture this, you're making bank as a solo artist after escaping an abusive contract from one of the worst management companies in Korea. Sounds perfect, right? Wrong. Back in 2021, some girl named Shiyi popped up online with pics of her and Kris while watching a film on the big screen. He allegedly leased out the entire movie theater for their date. Romantic? Maybe. But what Kris did to this vulnerable and underage lady was outright disgusting. After these photos were leaked by the cinema, another 19-year-old girl named Meizhu came out swinging with some wild accusations. She was saying that Kris sexually assaulted her and other girls. And get this, she's got receipts. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard this, I thought it was just another celeb scandal, but listen, it gets way worse. Meizhu spilled the tea on how Kris would lure young girls to his place, get them wasted, and then, well, you can guess the rest. And we're talking underage girls here, like seriously messed up stuff. You'd think with all his fame and money, Kris would have better things to do, but no. This dude was out here acting like he was untouchable. Spoiler alert, he wasn't. The courts in Beijing weren't playing around. They found Kris guilty of doing the same acts with 3 women in late 2020. They also nailed him for organizing some creepy group activities with 2 other women back in 2018. So, what happens to a K-pop superstar who turns out to be a total creep? Jail time. Kris got slapped with a 13-year sentence. That's 11 years and 6 months for the sexual assault, plus an extra year and 10 months for those group activities. And once he's done with his time, bye-bye China, hello deportation to Canada. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. Remember all that money Kris was making? Turns out he wasn't big on paying taxes. The court hit him with a massive fine. We're talking 600 million yuan. That's like 84 million US dollars. Dude was dodging taxes left and right from 2019 to 2020. As soon as the news broke out, Kris's perfect life crumbled faster than you can say canceled. His Weibo account with 51 million followers, deleted. Those sweet deals with Louis Vuitton and Bulgari, gone. It's like he never existed. Now, you might be wondering, what made a guy like Kris do something so stupid? Was it the fame? The money? Maybe he thought he was too big to fail. Or maybe it's just what happens when you give someone too much power and tell them they're special their whole life. But at least Kris's stunts were a one-man show. Seungri, on the other hand, had a full-on organization doing the dirty work for him. So picture this, Seungri, the youngest member of Big Bang, living his best life. He's not just a singer, he's a businessman too. Restaurants, clubs, you name it. This guy was on top of the world. But then, everything came crashing down. It all started with this nightclub called Burning Sun. Seungri was part owner, and let me tell you, this place was bad news. We're talking drugs, sexual assault, the whole 9 yards. At first, it was just about some guy getting beat up at the club, but then things got real dark, real fast. Turns out, VIP clients were drugging and assaulting women at the club, and get this, they were filming it without the women knowing. These creeps were sharing the videos in private chat rooms, and guess who was in those chats? Yep, our boy Seungri. Now, this was pretty bad, but it gets worse. The police? They were in on it too. We're talking full-on corruption. It's like something out of a movie, but this was real life. So, what was Seungri's role in all of this? Where do I even start? He was charged with getting prostitutes for himself and his rich buddies. He was sharing those illegal videos. He was embezzling money. He was gambling. It was like he was trying to win the worst person ever award. Now, Seungri tried to play innocent. He was all like, nah, it wasn't me. But the evidence was stacked against him. In the end, the court was like, nice try, buddy, and slapped him with a prison sentence. At first, they gave him 3 years, but Seungri wasn't having it. He appealed it and got it down to 1.5 years. Still, imagine going from sold-out concerts to a jail cell. Now, here's the thing. This scandal wasn't just about Seungri. It shook the whole K-pop industry. People started asking questions like, what's really going on behind the scenes? Are there more idols out there doing messed up stuff? Whatever the reason, Seungri's story is a wake-up call. It shows that even the biggest stars can fall hard. And it makes you wonder, how many other K-pop idols are out there hiding dark secrets around their perfect smiles? Now, it's not just the boys that are doing all the nasty shit in K-pop. The girls are just as bad. So let's talk about Glam. Never heard of them? Don't worry, most people haven't. They were this girl group that debuted back in 2012 under Big Hit Entertainment. Yeah, the same company that gave us BTS. Glam was actually starting to make some waves, and people thought they might be the next big thing. But then, one of their members, Dahi, decided to pull a stunt that would change their lives forever. Now, picture this. Dahi and her friend, a model named Lee Ji-yeon, were on a girls' night out and somehow ended up drinking with this big shot actor, Lee Byung-hun. You know the guy from Squid Game? Yeah, that dude. So they're all hanging out, having a good time, making jokes, but here's where it gets crazy. These girls secretly recorded the whole thing. And I'm not talking about some innocent selfie video. Nah, they captured Byung-hun making some pretty inappropriate sexual jokes. And then, get this, they tried to blackmail him. I'm talking 5 billion won, which is like $4.28 million. That's not chump change, people. But here's the thing about blackmail. It's a risky game, and these girls, they lost big time. Byung-hun wasn't playing around. He went straight to the police and reported their little scheme. Next thing you know, Dahi and her friend were getting arrested. Now, you might be thinking, okay, they messed up, but surely they didn't go to jail for that, right? Wrong. In January 2015, the hammer came down. Dahi got slapped with a 1-year prison sentence, and her buddy Ji-yeon, she got hit even harder with 1 year and 2 months. The court was like, look, we get it. Byung-hun wasn't exactly a saint with his jokes, but you girls, you crossed a line. You secretly recorded him, tried to extort him, and caused him a whole lot of stress. They weren't playing around. But here's where it gets interesting. The Department of Justice dropped this little nugget. 2 women are guilty of their charges. However, neither of them have criminal records, and the situation did not carry through. The video was not released to the public, and the crime was not carefully contemplated, nor did it seem like they appreciated the gravity of their actions. So why would Dahi risk everything for this crazy scheme? I mean, she was in a girl group that was on the rise. She had a career ahead of her. Well, here's the thing about the K-pop industry. It's not all rainbows and unicorns. A lot of idols are under crazy pressure and don't make as much money as you'd think. Some people reckon Dahi might have been desperate for cash. And let's be real, the K-pop world can be pretty messed up. There's a lot of exploitation going on behind the scenes. Maybe Dahi felt backed into a corner and thought this was her only way out. Not saying it's right, but you gotta wonder what pushes somebody to do something so crazy. In the end, this whole mess left people with a lot of questions. Some folks were like, yeah, the girls messed up, but what about Byung-hun? Shouldn't he be in trouble too for his behavior? It just goes to show, in the world of K-pop, things are never as simple as they seem. So yeah, the actions of some of these K-pop idols are bad, but these aren't the only things they got in trouble for. These are the accessories K-pop idols wore that got them banned. So click on this video. I know you want to.